My friend Tiffany, she had the biggest heart. She loved Taylor Swift. Now, I'm not a big, no disrespect to Taylor Swift fans, to the Swifties, but I'm not a Swiftie. My friend Tiffany was a Swiftie, inside and out. And she called me to say that there was a new launch of Taylor Swift's movie coming out, and she wanted me to attend. And I jumped at the chance because, not because of the movie, not because of the Swifties, but because of my friend and how much I appreciate her and enjoy her company. I got to the theater and she was running late, but I saved a seat. I got the food ahead of time for the two of us, waited for her. The movie started and the music was spectacular, nice and loud, just like I like it. And I could really get myself immersed in the environment of the movie. And it was interesting, but I kept looking over to where the entrance of the theater was, waiting for my friend to show up. And it seemed like it took forever. Of course, I was worried about her, but I knew she was on her way. She texted me and said she was on her way. When she sat down, I could tell that there was a discomfort in her, and she had had a tough time getting to the theater on time. But that's okay. I knew that we would talk about it after the movie. We didn't talk much during the movie because she was just fascinated by what she was watching. And I was fascinated watching the movie too, and periodically looking at her to see how she was smiling. I'm going to fast forward to when we left the movie. We went to have a bite to eat at our favorite restaurant and sat down, had a conversation. And Tiffany looked at me and she said, "So, what did you think?" And I said, "Well, the music was interesting in a typical Lynne fashion way." Sometimes when I have something to say that may not be agreeable to the other person, I don't say it. Call it polite, call it withholding, whatever you want to call it. But I just said the music was interesting. But my friend knows me well. She continued, "Okay, so what did you really think about it?" Tiffany said. And I told her it was kind of, and please, again, forgive me, Swiftie fans, but this is my opinion. It doesn't have to be everybody else's opinion. This was my opinion. I said, Tiffany, love the songs, love the costumes, but it was like looking through a kaleidoscope through the whole movie. She laughed. That was my impression. That was my interpretation of what I saw. But I asked her, "What did you like about it?" And she told me many things about each scene, about the characters, about the songs her favorite. She was hoping to hear one song, Ophelia, and there it was. But it's just her energy. Her energy. She was such a giving person. And to find out that she's no longer with us is so devastating and hard. But here's the point that I wanted to make, where joy and grief can both coexist. I'm going to be mourning for quite a while over the passing of my friend Tiffany. However, what I'm going to remember are the laughs, the many laughs we shared. The time that she knocked on my front door coming over for a visit. And I was carrying so many things, and for some reason I was wearing high heels because we were going to go out and I wanted to dress up. And as I opened the door, I said, "Just a moment." I ran really quick to put the things down that I was holding, these packages, and I tripped and fell. And I didn't hurt myself, but we laughed so hard because if I would have just put the packages down, it was before Christmas, I would have been fine. But how many times do we do that? Do I do that? Where I know something is going to be possibly a stumbling block, but I think, "Oh no, I just grab them. I could do it." I always think I can do it. So I don't pause and just put them down for a second to make sure my path is clear. So we laughed about that. We've laughed about many things. We've also supported each other through the difficult times of clutter. Since we both had that in common, we would text each other often. I'd tell her about the minimalist, and she said, "Who's the minimalist?" So I sent her an episode, and I definitely told her, "Well, just because I'm sending you the episode doesn't mean we have to be minimalists," because I can't even say it. I'm definitely not a minimalist. I'm learning to be better with having my space clear and clean so that I'm calm, but I'm still working on it. I'm a work in progress. And so was Tiffany.